I was just released, like you said, from prison after 28 years, 20 of which was spent on death row for a crime that I didn't commit.
And before you go too far, I know we're not invited, but tell everybody what's happening on Saturday.
Well, actually, I would be getting married on Saturday.
Amen.
In 1985, in the city of Memphis, where I stood trial at, I was actually convicted by an all-white jury when the population was, I think, over 50% black. So when you talk about racism and how the system is geared toward ensnaring certain people, but then that would be an example of it, aside from the unscrupulous prosecutors that worked on my case, that lied and falsified and fabricated evidence to actually convict me, that this is part of what, when you talk about the racism that's in the system, this is part of it, and I was certainly a victim of that. And I would just say, I would also too relate that prior to my being released, I was actually down in Memphis, in the Memphis County Jail for about 5 weeks. And when I first went down there, I was actually complaining about being there because the conditions are so bad. But shortly after being there, I realized that I really needed to be there to see what was really going on in this real, raw way, relating even to when you talk about how this new Jim Crow and how it relates to just historical slavery and the whole thing is because while I was down there, the way the jail is set up, they had this long tunnel under the jail that they shuffle people, hundreds of guys through every day, back and forth to court. And while I was down there going back and forth to court, I was reminded in some ways about how slaves must have felt as they was in chains, because many of the guys was in chains being shuffled down this long tunnel, and at the end of the tunnel, all these different holding cells, and based on your charge or the type of jumpsuit that you was actually wearing, then you was directed to a certain cell. And so I think that, like I said, that it's really important, educating the public about what's going on. But I think it's even more important is trying to get that information inside to where a lot of these guys are actually sitting and have an opportunity to sit down and read, because in spite of what I think the public and people really believe is that a lot of guys in prison really are reading.